Well, good morning, everyone from Edgerton. I hope you're doing well this morning. So thank you so much, Tom, for that introduction. And each year, the Rotary International President selects a distinguished Rotarian as their representative to share the Rotary message with the conference. We are pleased to have with us Maloney Schuppert, the representative of Rotary International President Stephanie Urchek. Some of you heard him speak yesterday in his welcoming address. Maloney Schuppert, or Ken as he prefers, was born in Madison, Wisconsin. He received his BA from the University of the South and his law degree from Cumberland School of Law of Samford University. He lives in Decatur, Alabama, where he and his wife Lynn are Rotarians and members in the law firm of Blackburn, Maloney Schuppert, LLC. Ken has been involved in his community through the Jaycees, Boy Scouts of America, Morgan County Cancer Society, Chamber of Commerce, Carnegie Visual Arts Center, Decatur Morgan Hospital Board, and many other civil and humanitarian organizations. He has served in Rotary in many capacities. This includes service as Decatur Rotary Club President, District 6860 Governor, Council and Legislation Delegate and Chair, Regional Membership Coordinator, Directory of Rotary International, Trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and Rotary International Vice President. Please help me welcome to TriCon 25, the President's representative, Maloney Schuppert.
Thank you, Mark. I'm reminded when my son-in-law is named Mark, spelled M-A-R-C, and when he met our law partner, Mark Maloney, who some of you may know, our son-in-law was pretty bold. He told Mark Maloney, who's chair of the Rotary Foundation, that you know what the C stands for. Correct. I thought our son-in-law was pretty bold. Lynn and I bring you greetings here today. Also, happy Earth Day. Today is Earth Day, as I saw that we were going to have today. On a lighter note, to maybe start, a couple of thoughts for you. On a young girl's wedding day, she whispered to her mother, "Why is the bride dressed in white?" The mother replied, "Because white is the color of happiness, and today is the happiest day of her life." The child thought for a moment and said, "So why is the groom dressed in black?" Another one, just a police recruit was asked during an exam, "What would you do if you had to arrest your own mom?" Police recruit thought for a minute, call for backup. Well, enough of that. Lynn and I are so pleased to be here with friends in your districts, to get to know your district governors, Roger, Todd, and Pete, Tom and Linda, who've helped us, Jason, who's put on and just spoke to you, a wonderful conference and planning. And as it was mentioned, I have some roots here. They were pretty shallow. I think I spent 3 months here. My father was in the Air Force, and he was sent to Madison in meteorology school, where I happened to be born, and was here about 3 months. When he got shipped out, he finished schooling and went to Hampton, Virginia. So this is Lynn's and my first trip back for me in 70 years. But I can honestly prove to you that I have something to show. I am a little badger from Wisconsin. I actually had to save that. Lynn was going through a drawer and came across it and said, "Well, we don't need that." Oh, yeah, that means something. I'm not sure how much. This was a few years ago. I'm so glad that I did save it and keep it for this opportunity. Well, in seriousness, we bring you greetings from our friend, your friend, Stephanie Urchek from McMurray, Pennsylvania. She's a friend. I worked with her on a number of Rotary projects. In fact, I was reflecting 3 years ago, she was a at-large member for the council, and then 3 years later, she's speaking to welcome the council as the president. So maybe that's a stepping stone from being an at-large member at the council of legislation. When she chose her theme, the magic of Rotary, I think about that and have the following thoughts for you. You know, when we think about the magic of Rotary and what it does, awareness of world problems is an essential first step toward a solution. Rotarians, if they remain unaware, no action can be taken. Problems will not be solved. However, when Rotarians are made aware of the world's problems, we begin to talk and discuss the best course of action. We seek out other groups to join our cause. We make plans, we take action, and through the magic of Rotary, we change the lives of people around the world. But you know, awareness is futile without action, and action is not possible until we've created awareness. It's by uniting awareness and action that Rotarians ensure that the critical needs of our clubs, communities, and the world can be identified and addressed. This is what the magic of Rotary is about. This is how Rotarians change lives, thereby helping people in need throughout the world. Through this, we strengthen our membership. We empower girls and women. We help the mentally ill and the challenged. We can shine a new light on projects and the impact of such projects as we raise the awareness and the interest of Rotary. Why do we do this? We're truly showing how Rotary can make a difference through our Rotary service. As we do the magic of Rotary around the world, we can have a world in which all children thrive and see hope. No child goes to bed with an empty stomach. Every sick child gets medical attention. Every child has an opportunity to learn how to read and write. All children have a roof over their heads, warm clothes to wear, and shoes on their feet. Every child knows the love and compassion of caring parents. And fear, despair, and depression are foreign concepts, and children can live marked instead with hope and a chance for a better life. How do we accomplish this? Through our Rotary programs and projects. We do this through our vocational service exchanges, our scholarships, our district and global grants, through the 7 areas of focus on international projects. By sponsoring Interact clubs, Rotaract clubs, and the Youth Exchange. I saw yesterday a number of Youth Exchange that you had visiting at this conference. What a wonderful way to impact the life of a young person. Also through youth leadership academies. And I want to especially congratulate all 3 of your districts for the support you do of the Rotary Foundation and the assistance to help eradicate polio. These are all extremely important and make what we need to do for Rotary and the Rotary Foundation. And I wonder, after Polio Plus, will literacy and numeracy, clean water, sustainability of our environment be our next challenges? Our community service is so important throughout the world. But you know, Rotarians must have vision and be open-minded. Consider these statements from our past and imagine how the future would have been different without vision. The president of the Michigan Savings Bank, when advising Horace Rackham, Henry Ford's lawyer, not to invest in the Ford Motor Company in 1903, said, "The horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty, a fad." Rackham ignored that advice. He bought $5,000 worth of stock in the Ford Motor Company and sold it several years later for $12.5 million. It was said, I confess, that in 1901, I said to my brother Orville that man would not fly for 50 years. Ever since, I've distrusted myself and avoided all predictions. That was said by U.S. aviation pioneer Wilbur Wright in 1908. How else would Lynn and I even be here today? What use could this company make of an electronic toy was said by Western Union President William Orton when he rejected Alexander Graham Bell's offer to sell his struggling telephone company, now AT&T, to Western Union for only $100,000. In 1948, Darrell Zanuck, head of 20th Century Fox, said, "Television will not be able to hold on to any market it captures. After the first 6 months, people will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box." In 1977, Kenneth Olson, president and founder of the Digital Equipment Company, said there is no reason for any individual to have a computer in their home, much less carry them in our pockets. And my personal favorite, we do not like their sound. Guitars are on the way out. This was said in 1962 by Decca Records when they rejected the Beatles. You see from these few statements how people with vision can change the world for the betterment of all of us. How do they do it? There's three main things, I think. We've got to assess the community needs and problems. We got to set our Rotary goals, and we got a plan to how to accomplish that, and we've got to respond through our Rotary action. You know, Rotary service, Rotarians can and do show the magic of Rotary around the world. Through service, we are affecting change and bettering the lives and the futures of people throughout the world. One of those individuals whose life was touched by the magic of Rotary is a man who lived in Uganda. I've never met him. I don't even know his last name. But I do know he received free medical treatment during a Rotary Family Health Day. And he left the treatment site and said, "This is a gift from God." Like far too many people living in rural areas of poor countries, this man had little access of any kind to health care. Unlike you and me, he couldn't visit a doctor, have a checkup, have his blood pressure checked, cholesterol levels. In fact, he might never have ever seen a doctor before. Imagine how many lives this project has saved through early detection of serious problems. Our Uganda friend called it a gift from God, and I cannot argue with that. But I can add, it's also a gift from Rotary and the Rotary Foundation. For you see, it was a global grant that helped support this Rotary project. And it was Rotarians that provided the volunteer labor to carry it out. Truly, this is the magic of Rotary. Now let's compare Rotary and the story of the Titanic. The Titanic, one of the greatest ships of our time, true tragedy, and now a major movie. The movie won 11 Academy Awards. The Titanic was 882.5 feet long, weighed over 46,000 tons. According to its architect, the ship was unsinkable. It carried 2,200 passengers. It was truly grand and a wonderful ship. On April 14th, 15th, 1912, 113 years ago, on its first voyage from England to New York City, the Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic, and approximately 1,500 people drowned of the 2,200 passengers. We know that story, but let's compare the action of two other ships that are little known in the area of the Titanic on that fateful and tragic night. First, the Carpathia, a passenger ship, which was much smaller than the mighty Titanic, and had left New York heading for the Mediterranean Sea. At the time of the SOS sent out by the Titanic, it was about 58 miles away. Upon hearing the SOS of the Titanic requesting assistance, the Carpathia immediately turned and headed toward the Titanic location to secure and rescue its passengers. It operated at full speed in the icy, dangerous waters of the North Atlantic. All passengers on board the Carpathia helped to save 705 Titanic passengers from those icy waters. Everyone on the Carpathia became a hero. The Carpathia showed why serving, why caring, assessing, planning, and responding to someone in need is so important and rewarding. Now there's a second ship in the area. It's the California, an old rusting cargo ship of approximately 6,000 tons, 1/8 the size of the Titanic. It had left Liverpool heading for Boston, carrying no passengers. It sighted icebergs in the North Atlantic around 10 p.m. It dropped anchor due to the danger of the icebergs. It sent out a general wireless warning of the icebergs in the area. It may have even communicated directly with the Titanic. At 11 p.m., the California shut down the wireless, and the operator went to bed to rest for the night. The watch crew saw the great, spectacular, grand Titanic approach and pass, all lit up at approximately 11:15 p.m. These are actual notes from the California's ship log. At 11:30, when the ships were approximately 4 to 10 miles apart, the Titanic stopped. At 12 midnight, the lights of the Titanic went out. A flare went up from the Titanic. The California watch crew awakened and advised the sleeping captain, who responded it was likely just fireworks for the Titanic passengers. At 2 a.m., it's noted in the California log that the running lights on the Titanic were getting lower. The watch crew decided that the Titanic was on the move. Again, the sleeping captain was awakened and advised. At 2:20 a.m., it's noted in the California log that the running lights of the Titanic disappeared. The watch crew believed the Titanic had simply sailed away. At about daylight, approximately 5 a.m., the watch crew spotted the Carpathia in the area. At 5:20 a.m., the captain was again awakened and advised of the situation, and the sleeping wireless operator was awakened and resumed communication. The California immediately learned of the Titanic's tragedy, which had occurred only a few miles away, while the California was secure and resting for the night. An investigative tribunal found no admiralty laws broken by the California, and in fact, it was found to have followed totally correct procedures. It was commended. This poses a question for us as Rotarians. Are we on the secure, resting California, unaware of what's going on around us? Or are we on the Carpathia, quick to respond, helping people in need? Are we doing the magic of Rotary around the world by providing Rotary assistance through our service above self efforts? Do we simply listen, or do we respond to the world's problems and needs? Do we fully do and show the magic of Rotary, our Rotary Club service opportunities? To do this means that Rotarians must be aware of the world's problems. We must take steps of Rotary service. We must light that one candle and not sit in darkness, as was said many years ago by Confucius. We must assess, plan, and respond to such problems and the needs through our Rotary service as we Rotarians do and show the magic of Rotary around the world. By doing this, we thereby help our children, our families, our communities, and our world. For all the people of the world, we do this. We also must aim high. It reminds me of the story of Babe Ruth when he set one of his many, many home run records. A reporter rushed up to Mr. Ruth and said, "Do you always aim for the fence?" The great Babe Ruth responded, shaking his head, no. I never aim for the fence. I always aim about a mile over it. If we Rotarians will adopt Babe Ruth's attitude in our everyday lives and our Rotary service, act and pursue difficult actions and decisions, we will truly be assuring that Rotary and Rotarians are doing and showing the magic of Rotary throughout the world, and we truly will be making a difference. We must fully engage in our Rotary service, and if we do, we can feed the hungry, provide clean water to the thirsty, educate the illiterate, protect and improve our environment, put an end to avoidable blindness, reduce the rate of child mortality, strengthen the lives and the future of our children, better our families and communities, empower women and girls, help the mentally ill and the depressed, eradicate polio, and work for world peace and better understanding among all the peoples of the world. Truly, this is the magic of Rotary. In closing, I want to share with you a poem that I think means a lot to us as Rotarians and want you to think about yourself. It's called The Dash Between the Dates by Lucille Britt. Memorial Day was now over, all had left and I was alone, and began to read the names and dates chiseled there on every stone. The dates which showed whether it was mom or dad or daughter or baby son. The dates were different, but the amount the same. There were 2 for every one. It was then I noticed something. It was but a simple line. It was the dash between the dates. Placed there, it stood for time. All at once it dawned on me how important that little line. The dates placed there belong to God, but the line is yours and mine. It's God who gives this precious life and God who takes away, but that line between he gives to us to do with what we may. We know God's written the first date down of each and every one, and we know those hands will write again, for that last date has to come. We know he'll write the last date down, and soon we know for some. But upon the line between my dates, I hope he'll write, well done. I want to thank you for all you do for Rotary, your communities throughout the world. Your humanitarian service is so important. Please continue that. And remember, you are truly doing the magic of Rotary. Thank you.
That was inspirational. I love stories like that. Especially when you hear, the repeat of the stories with the Titanic and Babe Ruth hitting a mile over, and it's pretty inspirational. Nice job, Ken. Really, really nice. Let's give him another hand. That was good. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and the message from Rotary International President Stephanie Erchek. And in recognition of your service, TriCon 25 will be making a contribution to Polio Plus, the Rotary Foundation, in your name.